No. Like like
I can
like
finish later.
no, please. The carry on eating. It's
We're
real life,
about an
isn't
hour
it?
and a half old.
Well, it's going to be 2.5 hours old once we finish this. So you might just as well have it now. Go on. So, any future guests, hopefully we'll have all this, like set up and kind of ready to go. This is almost like a dry run, isn't it? I'm out of breath,
So my coughing takes it out of you.
You're out of breath. I'm out of breath. It's going to be interesting. It's like a couple of perverts. Breathing for half an hour. Like I put the mic.
Big mistake. You made me laugh.
I love how I put the microphone closer to you because I was worried it wasn't going to pick you up. Where's my drink? Over here. I just look at all the waveforms of your cough. I think I'll probably fast forward some of that.
Oh dear.
Okay.
It's all your fault for making me laugh.
I know. I'm evil. Go on. This is your coffee? It's yours, isn't it?
Yeah. No, mine's down there on the floor.
Have some water. It's recording, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So this is the official beginning. I just realised I did bring my earplugs out of habit, just because I knew that I was recording.
Because I'm coughing.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I should put them in.
I don't know where the lid is.
I should have a warning, to viewers, kind of wear earplugs.
Exactly.
Okay, so
right, you brought me here today. What are we going to discuss?
No more coughing or laughing.
I do my best.
I guess we should start at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I guess some intercourse was involved, which you weren't around for. Then you were made. You could take it from there.
Oh.
Well, actually saying that, from what you tell me, that was a miracle itself. It was.
Daddy used to say to me, "God knows how you were ever cut here."
I know exactly. It's almost like the virgin birth, by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Well, although maybe,
Your mummy was very strict, Catholic, you see.
Maybe she had been a bit of a girl.
One didn't do these things.
And she was calming down. But anyway, we assume, something happened. It was accidental. It was an accidental intercourse or something. But anyway, that all happened.
That's awfully personal.
When it isn't really to you because you weren't there. You weren't there yet.
No.
Yes. Then what happened? You take it from there.
I was born.
Yeah.
I was born on the 14th of October, and Mummy started having me on the 13th, and the poor thing was in labour all day long. All day on the 14th, and her birthday's the 15th, and she thought, oh, if I can just hang on a little bit longer.
I can imagine she's the only woman.
She'd have a baby the same day
She's the only.
She was born, and she didn't quite make it because I was born at 7 minutes to midnight, so she didn't quite make it.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking she must have been the only woman in history that was stay in. Just, stay in.
Yeah, she wanted to have me on her birthday.
Surely most people are get it out, as fast as.
Apparently, when I was being born, and Mummy was in labour, the doodlebugs went over. No, not the doodlebugs, the planes.
Yeah.
And they dropped bombs, and it landed in the swimming bars, and it was right next to the hospital.
Yeah.
And it smashed all the swimming bars to bits. A good job it didn't land on me, because I might not have been born at all.
Yeah. you know, but all of that stuff like fascinates me. Just the thing of chance, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you, without wanting to go sort of deep, you know, straight away, like, you know, much like the Inception. No, I was making a crude joke about sort of grand and
I
granddad.
know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What was I going to say? Yeah, like, you know, doesn't that freak chance, you know, when you like think about it, it's sort of the magnitude of that, you know, like that the chance of you kind of not even existing, but sort of like being you know,
Yeah.
and then you add into that, you had that thing, you know, with the bomb sort of going off, you know, I mean, it's like infinite against the fact that you're here.
Well, Mummy said the whole hospital shook, vibration, you know, of the bomb going off.
Yeah. I mean, that's mental, isn't it?
I know. Because I can remember the hospital and the supervisors because they rebuilt them, and they were right next door to each other.
Was she
In
scared?
fact, when I was a baby in a pram, apparently Mummy used to put me under the stairs every time.
Like Harry Potter. You're like Harry Potter.
I wasn't a pram.
All right, I thought that was where you lived.
Well, you see, in the war, all these doodle bugs used to come over, and a doodle bug makes a noise like a plane engine. It goes,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it stops, and you have to count. I can't remember, but I think you count to 10, and it kept flying, and you had to go 1, 2, 3, up to 10 to know where it was going to land.
Yeah.
And if the sound got closer to you, you thought, God help us, it's going to be me, because you knew which way the sound was coming.
Yeah.
And then you count to 10, and you're thinking, now which way did it go? Was it coming this way or that way?
Were you shitting yourself?
No, that's called a doodle bug. That's what they did. The Germans used to drop them.
Well,
Used
yeah.
to fly them, I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, weren't you like scared then?
I was a baby in a pram.
Oh, that's true. Well, how do you know it happened then?
Mummy told me.
Okay. Oh, was she scared?
Of course she was scared. In fact, but there again, she was a nurse, and the nurses used to go on top of the hospital and watch the dog fights, you know, the German and the English little planes like Spitfires firing at each other. And she said they'd all be jumping on the roof going, come on, Britain, England. And they used to cheer them on. And then they'd see a German plane being hit and everybody would cheer.
Like, do you think there's like a part of like the human psyche that can't, in the moment, like comprehend the sort of magnitude of it or the risk? Because I often think that, because if I, you know, like as I'm kind of sitting here now, you know, thinking to myself, you know, like, oh, there's planes over the top dropping bombs and fighting, you know, like I'll be as far away as I could bloody get.
Yeah. Well, that's we moved to Chelmsford, but before that, I mean, Mummy and Daddy lived in London because Daddy came from Balham, and every time the sirens, the air raid sirens used to go, they used to dive down into the tube stations.
Yeah.
And they were absolutely packed, the tube stations, with all the people, but everyone made the most of it. They had people playing guitars and singing and all sorts, trying to keep people's spirits up, which I thought sounded rather nice. But Mummy said that they often used to do that, but they moved to Essex because Daddy had a job in Hackbridge, a company called Brush Crystal, because he was an electrical and technical engineer.
Yeah. But they do say, don't they, like that in times of kind of war, like and those sort of things, things like art flourishes, like art.
Well, yes,
you know,
because
music.
People have to have a way to cheer themselves up, I suppose.
Yeah.
And that's why painting, art, music, everything like that had to be encouraged, not necessarily encouraged, but it was promoted. I mean, it's like the First World War, that's where they had the tableaus with all the naked women, because women weren't naked in those days. No, it was...
Sorry.
I forget the name they gave it. It's a special name.
Porn.
No. I had it then. You made me forget.
Tableau, naked women.
No, it had a special name, but the curtains used to be drawn, and then they'd pull them back, and there was all these naked women with like feather fans and things in the right places,
Yeah.
but they didn't move.
You
They
sure
were-
you weren't a peeping Tom? Just looking for people.
I'm just saying, I wasn't
People's
around in the
windows
First
further.
World War.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't realise the First
No, I
World
was just
War.
saying that was their kind of escapism.
Yeah.
And it was a form of art. In fact, I saw there was a piece about it on the television not so long ago. So talking about this form of art.
So then, like, do you think that there's this weird, like, dichotomy with like human nature that it kind of needs that shit to sort of come up with some of the beauty?
Oh yeah, it's to give people. It's a distraction. It's like the old time music halls. I mean, they used to be in there in London singing away, and the bombs are dropping all around, and they used to sit there and just watch the shows.
Yeah. Sometimes they were so bad they were sort of probably hoping it like fell on them. Well, like, God, this guy's not. This guy's rubbish.
Very good.
Come on, Hitler.
I remember when I was a tiny child, Daddy took me to. I can't remember. I think it was either the Coliseum or the Hippodrome. I can't remember which one. And went to see the Crazy Gang.
Yeah.
And there was 6 of them. I can't remember all their names now, I'm afraid.
Dopey, Sleepy.
No, they were very famous, but they were funny, and they were music hall type people.
Yeah.
And it was really good fun, you know.
And they were naked with fans.
No, I can't remember any of their names.
No.
Oh, Flanagan and Allen. That was one. There were 3 couples, Flanagan and Allen.
Chaz and Dave.
No.
Jimmy Cranky. What was
No,
that
anyway.
one called? Jimmy Cranky and... Yeah, anyway, sorry.
You're
it's irrelevant.
digressing.
I know, I am,
Yeah.
sorry. I do that. You may have noticed. Anyway, yeah, so you were born, war was going on, almost didn't make it.
Yeah, then
Chapter 2.
we lived in this upstairs flat in Chelmsford. I can remember the steps were exceedingly steep. But, we lived in the top. I rather like watching things like sort of like programs about the 1940s, 1950s, because all their furniture and decor was exactly the same as we used to
have. For a second, I thought you meant then. I was thinking, well, that was, that wasn't.
No, but it was just the style of those days. A great big, solid China kitchen sink you could fit a blanket into. They were so big and deep, and it was nice in those days.
Yeah.
And used to have like a mangle on the side of the sink. We used to have to wind it like this to put the clothes through.
Yeah.
None of your automatic washing machines.
Were you still under the stairs like Harry Potter, or like did you have your own bedroom now?
I got bigger then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and they bought me a little pussycat named Socks, and I used to, because it had 4 little white feet.
Yeah.
And I used to dress up my doll's clothes and put it in the pram and take it up and down the road for walks. Yeah. At the end of the road, there was a big air raid shelter. And we used to play in there. Me and my friend Gillian Lincoln, she was. Yeah, we used to play there.
Have you seen if she's like still around?
Do you know, I've never looked. I could do. Never thought
you should
about
Facebook that woman.
Yeah, we used to play together all the time because we had a very long back garden.
Someone
and
needs
over
to
the
find
back,
if like Ginny and Lincoln is still alive.
Over the back, there was a river, and we used to climb over the back fence and go and have a look at the river. And one day there was a grass snake, because Daddy showed it to me, and ever since then I was too frightened to go over the back.
Yeah. You're not a fan of snakes, are you?
No, I don't know. Oh, I can't even touch a picture in a book, and I get all
remember
funny.
that like from my youth, yeah.
Oh, there's one thing I can't stand.
Snakes and heights.
Snakes and heights, yeah.
Do you remember
Spiders, I don't mind.
Okay, do you remember that time when we were in Switzerland
Oh,
and you had
God.
to crawl over the bridge?
I know.
Yeah.
What about when we went with Les to that rope bridge in the Forest of Dean?
Yeah.
Oh, he had to grab my hand and drag me over. It was horrible. It swayed, that one.
Yeah.
And as I was being dragged across, this chap shot past on a push bike. I'll never forget that. I was so frightened.
Yeah.
And this fella on a push
Didn't
bike.
that help you kind of like see the...
No, I
lunacy
had to close my eyes again.
Yeah.
It was a bit unnerving.
How are you with heights now? Because didn't you at the Giant's Causeway, or did you go on the rope bridge thing?
No, I didn't. Oh no, never.
No.
No, you wouldn't get me up there.
So it's still still a fear.
When Daddy was in Germany, I went up the tower in Stuttgart. It's quite a famous tower. And when you get to the top, it's got like a big thing sticking out like on arms, and it's all glass floor, so you can look through it. And I wouldn't stand on it in case it went through. No fear.
So, because the thing with a fear of heights, right, is I think I don't necessarily have a fear of heights. So, like if I'm in a plane or something, but like I do have a healthy fear of falling and dying.
Yeah.
You see these kind of madmen, sort of jumping over buildings and that, like, if you're scared of that, does that mean that you're you're scared of heights, And if that's the case, isn't that just sensible? It's not really a fear of heights, so like it's just being sensible.
I suppose in a way, the reason I don't like it is I suppose I suffer from a form of vertigo, because if I look over the edge of something, I can feel the ground rushing up to meet me, and it makes me go all giddy and dizzy.
So
and
that
I
is a
think
real fear, then, isn't it?
That effect.
You sure you're not just drunk?
Causes you to feel you want to throw yourself over.
Yeah.
It's frightening feeling, actually.
Yeah.
Because the ground just rushes up to meet you. It's not
and
very
you feel
nice.
that you want to like jump over.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it, vertigo. It's not very nice.
Yeah.
It's because the ground kind of
the ground swallowing you up.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling, vertigo.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you haven't sort of given into the urge to jump.
Yeah, it's not really nice at all. I mean, we went to the Isle of Wight. Your father was absolute nut. He loved heights. And we went to...
Did you say heights or fights?
Height.
Height, I was going to say.
We went to this Allen Bay, I think it was. It was along the coast on the north side of the island. And there was a sheer drop on the wooden fence. And your father only went over the side and hung onto this fence with his feet dangling. And I was so panicked, I couldn't look. I just turned away. He frightened me to death, he did.
I wouldn't have done that.
No, I know. Your father... Well, I'm afraid your brother takes after him in that respect. He's mad.
He used to.
He did used to,
He used to, but now he's,
He's got more cautious, yeah.
I wouldn't say more cautious. I think he's got ultra cautious, We'll have to get him on and we could sort of discuss, when he used to make me breathe, we were kids. But yeah, when we were kids, and if Scott's watching this, he can attest to this. We used to make those ramps and stuff. And there was one time when we made this ramp, and we spent ages building it. And I think kind of like Scott and I looked at it and thought, "Fuck that for a game of soldiers." It was, like at the end it went up like this, and then Rich, he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." I don't know, like it was because because he'd spent all summer making it. Thought, well, someone's got to do it.
I know.
But I mean,
that was in the back of the old brother nursery, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah, you say mental, but what happened one day? He came off
that
and
was
the
the same
handlebars
day.
went straight through his stomach.
It was the same day, like the first day. Yeah, okay. He went up, and like it looked amazing. I can sort of remember it clear as day. Like he went up, he landed, it was great. We were all like, oh wow, okay. And he went round for like a second go, and then he kind of went up in the air, like And it's one of those things, like, they say, like, that memory actually, like, it isn't reliable. So, I don't know, like, if I can remember it or if I've sort of fantasized this. But, like, it seems to me that what happened is he went up, like, and I looked at Scott and we kind of saw him in the air falling off. And we were both like, shit. It was like, He was
Oh,
like, "This
dear.
is going to be serious."
Yeah.
And then I think like he and the bike sort of like came apart in the air. I think,
Oh, I don't
and then
know.
I think he kind of
I'm
landed
glad I
like on
wasn't
the
there.
handlebars
Oh,
and
I'm
went
glad
into
I
his
wasn't there.
stomach. But
I
I mean,
know.
like, could you imagine him doing that now?
No.
No.
No, he has got more caution. You do get wiser as you get older. I mean, oh come on! When I was first married to your father,
Hang on a
listen,
second.
when I married your father, or I might have been going out with him.
I've let you sort of waddle on about Chelmsford, right? I don't think you can say that like you get wiser though, like as you get older, because I know many older people that are not wise at all, and I sort of I'm often in like bands like with younger people,
Yeah.
like there's people in their kind of 20s and and some of those guys like say stuff sometimes that floors me, that's like really wise. It's like kind of with Josh, like he introduces one of his songs about like a Nelson Mandela quote about like letting your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears, and those kind of things like are insanely wise. And I think kind of that more of us should live like that. And that's what my song Watching Me Burn's all about, is about that sometimes older people, because they've lived through stuff and they have experience, have a perspective on it. But then at the same time, it can make them scared of stuff, sort of because it's gone wrong. And then sort of younger people kind of because they haven't had those things say like go wrong yet, have the kind of bravery. And I actually think kind of the older people that still keep that sort of like wisdom, or not a wisdom of youth, but that sort of drive of youth to kind of try new things and be brave.
That's true, I suppose.
Sort of that's the ultimate, I think. But a lot of people don't, and they become overly cautious.
Well, I think that's what I meant to say. More that you become like rather once bitten twice shy. You become more cautious as you get older because you can see the pitfalls.
But I worry
when you're
about
young,
that.
You don't think about pitfalls.
I worry about that, because like I don't like that, and I sort of fight that with my being, which is why I'm still sort of trying to do things like music. It's not really brave, I suppose, sort of to play a piano, but you know what I mean. Like I guess kind of putting yourself out there like does take a bit of bravery, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you stand up on stage in front of lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
I mean that's a bravery of a sort because you got all these bodies and eyes looking at you. It is a brave thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But
different.
I just don't want to sort of like give in to
film
those
actors
fears
and that kind of thing because they haven't got a huge audience. Not like.
Yeah, but I imagine kind of like to lose yourself like in a role. I mean, imagine now just sort of totally kind of immersing yourself in a character.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you something. It's from Louis Theroux like Scientology movie. Okay, there's a bit like at the end of it where this guy is kind of acting out a character, and like. I'm not one to sort of big up actors and stuff all the time, but like how somebody can do that can just totally sort of
become
like
person.
It goes mental basically, and he sort of smashes a strip light on the table.
Oh yeah.
It's all in character, and it's almost like whoa, that's something. It's like a force of nature.
Yeah.
I think, and actually, I think it takes a lot of, I don't know, kind of real guts just to totally sort of like lose yourself in something. Yeah, but anyway, sorry, I sort of like digressed again. But quickly, Sam, I mean, that's kind of almost sort of what I want these things like to be about, though.
Yeah, that's right. It's
discussion. It's not sort of like talking
history
points,
program,
but just sort of talking about kind of life. Because one of the other things I wanted to ask you really is about like how much stuff you've seen kind of change over your life, and kind of. Do you think that you've sort of grown through that? Have you grown more cautious? Like, I want to know about kind of like the inner Pat McDonald, not, just a just a pot of history.
Okay. I mean, when you were talking about doing daredevil things, I mean, I was in my late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
And I was going out with your father, and we his brother had a Land Rover, and in the winter when it was frozen and icy, he used to have this sled which he used to tow on the back of the Land Rover.
Yeah.
And you'd have to sit on it and cling on it for dear life, and he used to speed all around the open fields.
Yeah.
And he'd bouncing up and down like this, and you were going so fast. I mean, if I'd come off, I'd probably
How did it go again, sorry?
What? Like this,
Oh,
over the bumps in the field. And if I'd come off, I probably broke my neck
no,
or
yeah,
something,
exactly.
but I did it.
Yeah,
And then he got this mad idea. He made this parachute to tow on the back of the Land Rover in the summer, this was. And it went so fast that you had the parachute on and it used to lift you up in the air.
yeah,
And no, I wouldn't do that because it's heights again.
yeah.
But your father did. And he used to tow them all round. when your father came down, he actually landed on the back of a cow.
Really?
I remember that.
How have you
Yes,
never told me that
I've
before?
only just remembered it.
He landed on the back of a cow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh,
Did he
dear.
rode that bitch
Well, I
like
expect he fell off.
for all he's worth?
I know
Well, you
he's.
expect he fell off? You were there.
I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
I just remember him landing on the back.
Amazing.
I think he slid off it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really funny. I remember that.
Wow. See, that's why I wanted her to do this. You know,
Oh,
with
yeah.
you especially, yeah, because when do we ever get sort of an hour or so just to sit down and sort of talk about stuff,
Yeah,
without
that's
interruptions?
true.
That's what's great with the studio,
Yeah.
But also, like, I've never heard that before.
No, I just remembered we were talking about being brave.
Tell me some more.
Do
How
that.
did you meet Dad? I honestly don't think I know.
My father used to be secretary
He sold you.
of Hythe Club.
Yeah.
And of course, being secretary, we used to go down quite a lot. And your father was in there having a drink with his mates one day.
Has it always been classy?
Hey?
I'm just kidding.
He was down having drinks with his mates, and he came up and started talking to me and said, "Oh, I haven't seen you here before." And
Player. I love him. He was straight in, wasn't he?
I can't remember. But anyway, he just asked me out. In fact, I can't even remember where we went the first time we went out.
I mean, can I just quickly kind of say, like, he must have been a bit of a player. Because if he's saying he hasn't seen you, like, down it much, like, your statement previous to that was you used to go down there a lot.
Roger wasn't a big drinker.
Oh, okay. So he was the one that hadn't sort of like been in there.
That's true.
Yeah, so what kind of lines did he use? Like, tell me all about him. I want to learn from the master.
I can't remember.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if he pulled you?
I know he asked me out.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember where we went.
Was it one of those, heaven must be missing an angel lines or something?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Guess we'll never know how he wooed you. So, yeah, it was in Hythe Club.
I'm thinking hard. I can't even think where we went. We must have gone out for drinks somewhere. It's not awful, I just can't remember.
Yes, this is why this sort of stuff is good, though, because like it gets you to think.
I
about
know.
it.
Yes, I worked in the bank in Hythe.
Yeah.
In the National Provincial then. It's not. It's the
Did he leave a
National
deposit?
now. And when I used to finish work, I used to go up to the nursery.
Yeah.
And I used to help your father in the nursery because his mother inherited it when her husband, Roger's father, died. And Roger used to do all the work. I mean, he was very young. He was still at school when his father died. And he used to come home from school and go and fill up all the boxes for his mum to do all the pricking out the next day.
How did that like shape him with his dad dying young? Because obviously I've had the same thing.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. I think he was about 14 or 15 when his father died.
Yeah.
He must have been a bit young. No, he must have been younger than that because he was at secondary school.
Yeah, but all I mean is like how did that affect him and his outlook on life? Did he sort of expect that he was gonna live a short life or what? Like,
I don't know.
because I don't know if I've ever like told you that, but I think there was a part of me when I was growing up, that when I turned like 37, especially, like it was a really weird year for me because I think somewhere like in my mind, I hadn't ever thought that I was going to get past 36. And I think, that's why kind of like I live my life like I do. Like, I said that I don't plan,
Yeah, yeah.
I just kind of like do as it in like the day ahead of me. It's almost this sort of fatalistic view of,
Well, I never
kind of
ever
what's
ever
gonna,
met his father, so I don't even know how old he was when he died.
yeah. No, I just wondered if you'd ever spoken about it or anything.
No, not really.
Right.
I know what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
wondering if it's hereditary.
No, 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 no,
But
no, no. I don't necessarily mean hereditary, but like it'd be interesting to know how his father dying sort of affected his outlook on life, and if it made him more kind of reckless. When he said he was hanging off the cliff earlier on.
oh, I see where you're
Like I
coming
wonder,
from.
like if there's something
You thought,
like if you've kind of lost a parent like young,
I thought,
because you had your like parents, for kind of quite a long time in your life, didn't you?
oh, I did definitely. I mean, Daddy was 80 when he died, and Mummy was 83. So did have him in my life a long time.
Yeah, because I remember like when we went to the funeral actually, like to Grandad's funeral. Like, do you remember that?
Oh, we went to Germany.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's one of those things, where like I feel that it almost signalled like a change, like in our relationship, in a way, sort of because we went, and like at times it did feel like a couple of friends just sort
I
of
know you
hanging
got
out.
really cross with me at the checkout
Did
because,
I?
yes, because I can't remember. It was something to do with, have you got anything to
No,
declare?
I
And I
didn't
said,
get. Yeah, you said
oh,
something about.
I need that rifle in my
I,
pocket
I did the
or
shotgun.
something.
I don't think I got cross with you.
And you
You know.
said, be quiet. They'll stop us and search you. You got ever so angry with me. You did. I'll
Yeah,
never forget that.
yeah. I mean, I was probably being flippant. I'll be honest, but like, because that's weird, yeah. Because kind of maybe I'd be sort of totally different now, but I think we'd watched one of those airplane things only about sort of 2 or 3 weeks earlier, and there was that violin player. Like, don't you remember? Like, and he said something similar. Like, he said, "Oh, I've got a gun in the case," and then they had to kind of like take him off somewhere, and
Oh, yeah.
he had to be
Oh, I
like
see.
interrogated and everything,
I remember you
And I
got
think I
cross
had a
with it.
gig. I think that's what it is. We were
Oh,
coming back, and I think I had a gig on the same night. And I was thinking, well, I can't be, like around the airport for like, for 3 hours, having a
oh,
cavity search. Although I probably, would have enjoyed that as well.
excuse me,
But
that's wrong. It was on the way
I
out,
mean,
you
it is
said it.
wrong having a cavity
So you
search.
didn't have a gig that night. It was going.
Okay, well, we can quibble about this
I
all day.
never forget when we
Yeah.
got there and we got in the car and Helga was driving. I remembered
She was
her
a nutcase,
driving.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
driving. Like, do you remember when she got in the bath? When she was showing us how to take a shower, like an ice water. Show me how to do it. She actually got in the bath, fully clothed, and was telling us that we had to
And she's going to
kneel.
get the shower
Yeah, you had to kneel because, like, she didn't want to have water
all over the
on the
floor.
tiles, or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, that's mental. And then she sort of told that story, like, at least she could kind of laugh at herself. I do remember this when Granddad came out of like the hospice. And she said that he was, was pulling himself. And she
Oh,
was so
yeah.
worried about it going on the floor that she was going behind him
Oh,
catching
yeah.
it. I love that. Some water. Yeah, but sort of what I mean is though,
Oh, dear.
it kind of felt like a couple of friends hanging out, and it was, I think I'd always wanted that sort of relationship, with
Yeah.
us, but like it hadn't kind of been at that point because I think it was almost still. I think you kind of wanted me to still be, like a child or something.
Oh, I
And I
see,
was almost
rather
a bit
than an
like,
equal, yeah.
yeah. I do remember saying to you, like, do you remember this? When I said, okay, sort of like your goal is you've got to find me a girlfriend and I've got to find you a boyfriend.
Oh,
Because it was
yeah.
just after Les had died.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, we're only going to be here for sort of like 2 days. It's not going to happen. Like, and then, I met that girl, Melanie.
Melanie,
do you remember?
yeah, that's right.
And we went out.
And you went out for the night, yeah.
Player.
You did. Well, you were the player.
Yeah, well, you were my wingman. I think we should, we should hit the clubs, Mum.
Oh, very funny.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have an affair for you. Yeah. I think you'd be like a great like wingman because like people would be like, oh, he's brought his mum, and I wouldn't bring you.
Oh, he brought his mum. Sad sod.
But I mean, I wouldn't kind of like bring you for that reason. I fucking love like hanging out with you.
Oh, thank you.
I really do. I was saying on the way over, wasn't I, like that we should have put a camera in the car.
Yes.
Because we had some great conversations like in the car on the way over. Like, do you remember when I said to you, what a podcast was all about? And I said it's often people talking for sort of like 2 or 3 hours, and you went, no, thank you. But look, I mean, it's already 20 past 12. Like it goes well quick. You don't realise.
What time did we start then?
Well, it had that like inauspicious start, didn't it?
Where I can't help coughing. I've had a cold,
I've had a cold, It wasn't just that, was it? It was like I was setting up, but I kind of like that anyway. That it's just, if I'm honest, like it's how I feel every morning. I sort of wake up and I just, over the course of about an hour or two, I sort of drift into being real. For the first, I don't know, hour, that's what like the podcast was like. For the first sort of 5 minutes, it was just, and I didn't have a kind of a beginning, did it? It just slowly sort of drifted in, faded in.
Well, that's better, isn't it?
It's like a classic 60s song with a fade in. We should fade out as well. Just have you finishing your...
That reminds me of a song, something about fade away. Mick Jagger, wasn't it?
Because I'm thinking Enya. Sail away.
No.
All right.
Da, not fade away.
Re-record, not fade away. Wasn't that like the BASF advert? Like the Scotch tape? Re-record, not fade away.
Yes, but I think it was Mick Jagger that started
I think it was a Rolling Stones song.
Yeah.
So... does it bother you like that I didn't have like children or like I haven't had?
To be quite frank, it would have been nice for the name to carry on but then I suppose Doug's children, he had their Vaughns.
Yeah.
It just seems sad that the name didn't carry on.
Yeah.
But by the same token,
I can't help being impotent.
No, you're not, I don't think.
No. I don't think.
I feel a bit sad in a way now because my hand's in such a bad shape that I couldn't babysit for you because I couldn't pick a child up because I drop cups, let alone a baby.
Yeah.
I can't hold anything.
Babies are more resilient, aren't they?
They don't actually bounce. That's a myth.
Oh, that's a myth. I've never heard that. But there's people out there going, look, watch this man. Over the bus. Oh shit, that doesn't work. Seriously, that's a myth. Baby spouts.
Well,
Did you try it with me? I mean, that explains a lot. Let's have a... Oh, shit. Yeah. I'm not going to jump off heights, but let's see if this little prick bounces.
I think it's just a saying.
Yeah.
Bouncing
baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's weird, I mean, with life, like, I mean, you're 73 now, is it?
No, you're pushing it, son.
72,
Thank you.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
73 in
Sorry.
October.
Sorry. So...
The 14th, which was the Battle of Hastings. I wasn't actually there.
I was going to say, fucking hell. I think I'm a bit older than 72. You're the one that got Harold.
It's also the same day.
Was it Harold that got it in the eye?
Oh, yeah, Harold, yes, King Harold.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, him, yeah.
William of Normandy.
Were you the guy that had the arrow? Or the bow?
Also, Cliff Richard's birthday.
He was there.
He was 4 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. I mean, with Cliff. No, actually, I was going to go down like an Operation U Tree and ask you about Cliff.
Daddy had a job in.
I don't like this segue.
Essex, eh?
No.
What's the segue?
Well, we're going for Operation U Tree, to Daddy. And I was thinking,
Operation U Tree. What's that?
Well, it's what. What's his name? Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile were all like done under the other paedophiles.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Like,
didn't know
did
it
you
was
know like that Cliff was arrested, but like, he
yeah,
was
but
innocent.
he was
I
innocent.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trouble
Exactly.
is, somebody like Jimmy Savile was a real pervert. He never got married.
I
He was
know.
just a single man,
I
and he
always
used to
wanted one
prey
of
on
those
people.
necklaces he was giving everyone.
Yeah, but I think it gave a lot of the public a chance to think, oh, I could get some money here, or I could become famous. And they started accusing people
Started accusing
willy-nilly
everybody.
just because somebody was famous.
Willie Nelson was accused.
No, willy-nilly.
Oh right. But
No,
then they
you
were
know
called
what
Milli Vanilli.
you know what I meant.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
I'm
set
sorry.
people off, and I think it's sad because people were just accusing them just because somebody was nice and gave them a kiss, or
Touched
I
them
mean,
up.
I've had people slap my bottoms, and I
Yeah.
never thought they were accosting me sexually.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a thing that men do to women. They just slap them on the bottom. There's nothing wrong with that, is there?
I mean, I think there probably is.
Yeah, but this day and age, things have got out of hand.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with a lot of that. Okay, but
I never forget Princess Diana when she slapped the back of Harry's legs. Now, good on her, that's what I say.
I mean, that's a
And
different.
everybody threw up because, you're not allowed to smack your own
But
child.
that's a different thing, though, isn't it? I mean, kind of a man slapping a woman's bum, kind of unsolicited.
It's only a little.
Well, no, but what I mean is that's two separate things, isn't it? Kind of slapping a child because like if they've done something wrong. I mean, I'm not really going to say whether people sort of should or shouldn't, because it's their affair. I think we're sort of too interested, like in the way that people, parent other kids. But what I was going to say is because I think it probably is some form of assault if a man, just kind of unsolicited, so not a girlfriend or something, just slaps a woman on the arse. I think that.
Well, I think it's
quite.
I can't remember the word I'm trying to think of, but
It's quite flattering.
Flattering, that's it.
But isn't
because
that...
somebody thinks, she's got a nice bum, and I think, yeah, that's nice. So I have.
Amazing.
I remember when we were in Italy.
Is that what Dad did? Just went like that, yeah. Which is why, like, you can't remember his chat up line because he was all hands. He just came up and went, "Get in the car, love."
When we were on honeymoon in Italy, all the Italians used to wolf whistle, and I felt quite proud. And
that's an interesting.
And Daddy felt quite proud because somebody
fancied his bit of crumpet.
Well, exactly.
Exactly, but okay, so maybe we've hit on something interesting here because that now, honestly, Mum, like, is is totally it's anathema. Like now that
really.
So yeah, like.
But I used to walk down the road, and the men in the building site used to whistle, and I used to think, well, they like me.
But these days, like people see that, almost as a form of like sexual assault.
What a load of bull.
That's right. I mean, I'll show you like a video. Like,
I think that's ridiculous.
I'll show you a
Today's gone OTT.
I know. Okay, right. There's a guy on. It was on YouTube. This feminist woman like uploaded this video where she was kind of harassing him basically, like, and asking what his name was, and he said humongous. Like that, okay? And then she said, "What? You're referring to your penis?" And she was going like, "This man sexually assaulted me." And there are some like people now, yeah. So I do agree that it's gone totally like too far that way. But I do think probably like I can see where maybe kind of slapping or sort of groping someone isn't right.
Groping,
maybe just sort of saying
not nice. No. But a quick tap on the bottom is quite flattering. It is. I think people have forgotten how to live.
I think we should put that like as the tagline of the podcast. Slap on the bottom is quite flattering. Yeah. But
it's not a hard slap, it's a little like that. Like, come on, Ducky. I think it's rather cute. It's not sexual.
Okay, well, if I do this to anybody, I've got the evidence, that like it's how I was brought up. So, I've got like carte blanche now. Like, that's another thing of this generation, it doesn't take responsibility for anything. So I could just say it's her fault, and I've got the evidence now.
Well, it's just flattering for a woman to know that she's attractive, that's all.
But isn't it flattering for anyone to like feel attractive? You know, why add that caveat for a woman?
What, you mean she ought to start sapping men's bottoms?
Oh, hey, you know, I would object. I wouldn't
Yes, but then
object.
you see, I come from the days when a man did all the leading and all the chasing, because when I was a young girl, the women used to
Back in
sit
the
on
Battle of Hastings. No, sorry.
the women used to sit on one side of the dance floor,
Yeah.
and all the men sat on the other side of the dance floor. And every time the band struck up, the chaps used to stand up, walk across, because you used to think, "Oh, I wonder if
Which one's
anyone's
going
going
to
to
take
ask
me?
me." And you'd have to watch and see if somebody come and said, "Would you like this dance, madam?" Miss, I was
Yeah.
Miss then.
Yeah.
Would you like this dance? And you'd get up and you'd have a dance. And I thought that was really
I'd have
lovely,
been.
because women were never forward.
Yeah.
But we weren't repressed. We still had the vote. We could do things. But in a way, I suppose we were, because, I mean, when I started work in the bank, and that was in the 60s,
Yeah.
I got less pay because the women had one pay structure and the men had another.
Yeah. I know.
And women got paid less.
Yeah.
So we weren't equal in that respect. But you see,
Very
like
things you were.
nowadays, the women go chasing after the men, but
But
it
that's
was
not necessarily wrong, though, is it? You know, I mean,
no,
that's
I
just the
suppose
way.
not.
So, because you know,
But
because
the way I
humankind
see
like
it,
changes. You know,
I
like things
think
move
they're
forward.
being a bit forward, but that's
But that's
just
a
the way I've
generation
been
thing, though,
brought
isn't
up.
it? You know, and I suppose what I'm saying is, so like, can we not kind of move with the sort of generation now? Because obviously, again, you know, kind of spending like a lot of time, like, you know, with the younger people and stuff. Like, you know, I mean, maybe I'm just kind of really like immature, you know, but I almost like still feel like a sort of like an 18-year-old or something, you know, that's kind of figuring out the world, you know. So actually, when something then changes, I embrace it, yeah, because I think, okay, well, this is the kind of thing that's going on like now, you know, rather than going, okay, when I was a kid, it was like this. I'm almost a bit like, okay, well, I can kind of see where that comes from, and I think sort of how we should
Yeah.
move. Yeah, but you are right. You know, I do agree that it has gone like too far. You know, and that
One of the
guy sort of
reasons
being accused for
being,
like sexual assault.
well,
You know,
exactly,
like for
yeah.
saying like humongous. I mean, it's mental.
Women, I know, women have got too big for their boots, in my
Women have got
opinion.
to, yeah, you that's amazing.
No,
You
you know,
bitches, you need to get back in your place.
no, I don't mean it like that. I think that they're. I don't think they're being very fair to men these days.
Well,
because
yes, I would agree with you. Yeah, but there's a
I-
difference, though, right? I realise that I'm sort of silencing you now. You know, which is sort of misogynistic, maybe. But no, like the there's a difference between sort of trying to have equal rights and everybody be fair, and then sort of misandry, you know, which is like the opposite of misogyny, you know, where kind of some women I think do now want to put kind of men in their place.
yeah,
You know, like I think that is true, you know, but like again, yeah, that's kind of two extremes. And I think kind of most people probably like don't live in that extreme, and most people probably want there to be like a fair balance of
yeah,
it both, you know, and that's good, yeah. That most people, I think, want, you know, and they'll be sort of quibbling about, you know, I mean, I was watching something the other day about kind of like, there was a load of women saying like that men should always pay at the restaurant, you know, which in itself is mental again, you know, if you want equality. So, you know, I think there's always going to be these small things, you know, that we quibble about,
yeah.
but it's like as long as on a grander scale, like things are more equal, you know, like, you know, I kind of wish that we sort of focus more on that rather than the sort of minutiae of, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Well, money wise, I do think women should take their share.
yeah,
Equality,
yeah,
definitely.
absolutely,
You know, I mean,
and
they
take
earn
a
the
slap
same
on the
money.
arse every now and again.
If I'm not talking about a slap on the arse, a
I know, I
little
know.
friendly tap, I think is quite flattering.
Tell you, I've tapped a few asses in my day. I'm sorry. Like
But-
so, what I want to go back to quickly, like, is what you're saying about like this dance thing, yeah, because there's a part of that, like that, you know, I mean, I would have probably been so insecure, you know, I wouldn't have got up and chosen anyone, but you know, I mean, B, like the other side of that is that almost makes me feel like one of those nature programs, you know, when they have the sort of, the dating rituals, where these animals have
Oh,
to sort of
yeah.
get up and
Yeah.
get up and dance. So, we watched that one with that one that sort of cleans the greenery
Yeah.
and then sort of jumps up and down, right? So, I mean, was it like a bit like that, where it was almost like, am I going to be picked?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But you see, the difference is,
Were you
if
often
it was a
picked?
small local function,
Yeah.
you went with somebody,
Yeah.
or you went on your own, but you knew all the other people, and then they'd come and ask you to
Yeah.
dance because you knew them anyway. But I'm talking about the big clubs in London that I used to go to. I mean, like the do you know? I'm so sorry. It was my age. I forget the name.
Hippodrome.
No, that was a cinema, a theatre.
Okay.
A
club. I'll be honest, it's the least important bit of the story.
They're huge
Yeah.
venues, and the place is packed completely, and you didn't know anybody. We used to go out with my friends, the nurses, two or three of us together, and you didn't know anyone at all
Like,
whatsoever.
were they your wing ladies? So did you used to go?
No, we always.
Did you go gaming and like negging people?
No, we just used to go out to have a good time.
I bet.
Oh, anyway, that's when all the men sit one side,
Yeah,
and the women the other. Now I'm even going.
Did you used to get like picked? Did you?
Yeah, I met a few people.
Player.
But
Is that where you met Christakis Yanni?
No, that was Lions Corner Calf.
Lions Corner Calf.
Yeah, because although he was a radio engineer on a boat, we're digressing. We're talking about the
I know
dance
exactly.
halls.
Yeah, I like a conversation there that just flows. But anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like Joe Loss. I expect you've heard of Joe Loss and his big band. He used to play there.
Yeah, well, I've got all his LPs and his
Have you?
posters.
No, you liked it. Was the big band sound, a bit like Terry Weston.
Okay,
plays
cool.
now.
Yeah.
We used to go, and I used to go and see like Chris Barber and Akabilt play, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And those clubs, everybody was strangers, and you just waited for somebody to come and ask you to dance,
Yeah.
And then there was the Palais at Croydon.
Did you ever ask a man to dance?
No.
See, why not?
But you didn't. Women didn't do that sort of thing in those days.
Isn't that weird though?
I know.
You
wouldn't go up to a man and say,
yeah,
come and have a dance. You just wouldn't.
But that's one of the things, like with this, with this generation, that gives me hope for stuff is I think that people are kind of a bit more like fuck you to sort of regulations or not regulations, to social norms,
Yeah.
And I think it's really great, like if somebody kind of wants, to cross dress, kind of we're fine with that, if somebody wants like to marry like someone of the same sex. And I think it's mental like that people were made, like to not like do things, like that they loved. Sorry.
No, it's all right. No, it's not that. I was worried about Alan and his dental appointment.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier
okay.
on, we have to kind of get you sort of between hospital appointments. I reckon if we go for like 10 more minutes.
Yeah, okay, sweetheart.
And then we'll go. But okay, do you see what I mean about
how time flies when you're having fun.
How it easily goes, so you could easily fill, sort of like 2 or 3 hours with this, because those things you wanted her to talk about, We
haven't only mentioned one.
Yeah, but what you have to remember though is, I suppose, is like, is it's interesting to me to get your like take on it all.
Yeah.
So, if you say I was born here, then I want to know about there.
Yeah.
Or, but it's almost, I sort of want to know about kind of, what's going on in your noggin. In your little mummy noggin.
Little brain.
Big brain.
Yeah.
Okay, so I reckon we've got time for one more thing.
I enjoyed it in London. It was great fun. When I was nursing.
Let's discuss one more thing. One thing that I would like to know, or talk about is that you said something recently when I was saying to you about how sometimes just the sort of magnitude of everything, sort of like weighs upon me, and I sort of get up, and I just kind of think about, like the universe and just like, what I was saying earlier on about how, the odds against us being us are just, it's infinite. So I spend all my time kind of thinking of those sort of bigger questions, and I kind of totally miss, the sort of like day-to-day things sometimes.
I know you've got a very inquiring mind, but you see, I suppose in some respects I'm a bit of a fatalist, because I think myself, well, whatever's going on out there, let it happen. And I don't worry about why or how. I just like to enjoy things as they are.
Well, I think I do.
Where it's all around me, enjoy the beauty of nature, and I like to see things and see it happening.
Yeah, but I guess
I don't like to delve into great details as to why it's happening.
Yeah.
I just like to see it happening.
Just like to enjoy it. I mean, in the moment, I think I'm okay with that. Like with the gig, like last week, that was an amazing moment. But I do like kind of had to think about it afterwards. But what I was going to say is though, was what like I really liked was when you said to me about how you just kind of pick a few things every day. Because I think what I was asking, is how do you sort of cope, with like existential, like questions and stuff, and I was going to ask actually, but we can't really kind of like squeeze it into the 10 minutes at the end, like I don't know if it's too sort of like morbid, but I was going to ask if things kind of like death, like if it's a fear for you, or if you just don't spend your time not thinking about it.
If I think about it, it's frightening, but it's inevitable, so you just got to accept it. So I just get up every day. I don't think about dying, except when I'm planning my funeral. I mean, that's a must. Because if I don't, then it falls to you and Richard, and it's not fair.
Well, God forbid Richard's in charge of that.
Although I must say, all the money I'd saved up for it, we spent on holiday.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm scared it's up to you two.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck us. But that sort of goes back to what you're saying though, about sort of enjoying the moment, And I sort of totally agree with that. It's better to have a holiday like now.
Yeah.
Than to sort of worry about.
Yeah.
What's going to happen in the
future. One of the big things that, and it's a big regret in my life, is I think when I was younger, I didn't necessarily think about the pitfalls like dying, until your gran suddenly died. And I thought, oh my God, because she, for about a year before she died, kept saying, I want to go to Ireland to see my home and family once more before I die.
Yeah. And
I was too damn busy looking after the nursery and the children, and I'd ignored her. I hardly even listened. Yeah. And I regret that.
Oh, sausage.
Because I think now I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. What I ask.
Well, that's why I love spending time with you now, because
it'll be too late soon.
I don't want those regrets,
Exactly.
And I said that kind of to Rich.
Yeah, I often think to myself, I wish I'd. Oh, don't do that.
Okay. Fuck off, you.
No, I shall start crying immediately.
Okay.
But I do feel bad because I didn't take her.
Oh, Mum, I'm sorry. I don't want to upset you. Give me a squidge, come on. But on a positive with all of this, that's why it's important kind of to live, isn't it?
Exactly.
And just, kind of...
And do things when you want to.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow could be too late.
Exactly. Which is why I love spending time with you, That's why I like doing those video quotes. When we went to that gig, and everyone, there was like Callum and Josh, and they were like, oh, it's your mum, Like, I love that, because it's kind of, because you are kind of hugely, important to me, and I know that, I would sort of regret all these things, if we didn't build sort of a wealth of really awesome memories.
I think it's quite funny because I went to the fish and chip shop the other day, and this woman came up to me. She said, "Oh, you're Mike's mum, aren't you?" And then there was another.
That was Dawny and George, I think.
That's right.
It?
Yeah, Georgie, little lab of glasses on. You hadn't seen him before. Dear little soul, he seemed.
Oh, he is. He's great.
But
Really good
if we go
musician
out
as well.
to a pub or anything, I've seen you on video.
Yeah, see, I
Things
fucking
like
love
that.
that, man.
I
Honestly, I
know.
fucking love it, you know.
It's I feel a bit awkward because I don't know who these people are.
Exactly,
And they
that's
come
what
up
it's like
to
when
me
you got
and they recognise
fans.
me.
You know, you've got fans.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of wanted her to do you first.
They recognise
You know,
me
like,
and I don't know who the hell half these people are. You know, but there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, like, it's kind of... what I was saying earlier on about this whole thing kind of with life, about, you know, how sort of like being older, we can still be, you know, still be sort of brave and kind of try new things. Actually, kind of what I've noticed, like, is a lot of people who are sort of my age and up, you know, it's almost like when they got to 30, it's like, sort of, this is it now.
Yeah.
You know, actually kind of what I've realised, like, with Dad's death and everything, is that, you know, I mean, I'm now past how old he was when he died, like 36.
Yeah, exactly, 36, yeah.
And I still feel unformed.
Yeah.
And you start kind of realising, you know, how if we're still alive, like, we're still growing.
Yeah.
Or at least should be.
That is true.
Yeah, so we need to go on a road trip. I can tell that you're all worried about the time, aren't you?
No, I hadn't thought about it there.
Okay.
You said 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
no. Yeah, you know, so, I mean, I think to myself, right, tomorrow I'm going to do so-and-so. And I often sit in bed at night and I write a little list of things I want to do. And then the next day, one thing I've done all my life is I make lists. I make lists for everything. I love lists. It's a thing of mine. And then in the daytime, I think, oh yes, I've done that and I've done that, and I cross it off and I cross it off, and I feel really happy when they're all crossed off.
Yeah, well, I took those words kind of out to heart, actually, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I'm sort of starting to do the same. You know, it's like, okay, well, kind of what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
You
need to plan it out.
Yeah, because
that way you get more done rather than wandering around and thinking, what should I do next?
That's basically what I spent half my life doing, you know. And I've realised there's loads of kind of plans, like with this like podcast, you know.
Yeah.
An idea I had ages ago, and I thought, okay, well, you know, let's get sort of goal orientated.
Yeah.
And just go, you know, like, here's a list of things to do.
Well, you see, it's funny.
So thank you for that. You know,
now,
like it has helped.
That's Daddy's influence, because he was a big one for making lists. And Daddy was a really organised person. Unfortunately, I'm not.
I'm not either.
But
my
mother was very organised, and my father was very organised. Now, I am terrible.
What happened
I don't
to us?
organise anything. Now, because you've taken after me, I don't organise a thing.
Yeah, so what happened to us? You know, like...
I often used to think to myself, you know, like, and being untidy. Both my parents were very, very tidy, and whether it was a kind of inward rebellion or not, I don't know. But I'm not a bit organised. I'm not tidy.
I think you've rebelled against them. You were like,
I don't know.
Screw you, conventions.
I don't know.
Maybe there was a part of you like saying about, you know, this whole thing with, you know, kind of sort of societal rules. You know, maybe there is a part of you that's a bit like, no, actually, screw that. I'm going to do this. In fact, kind of, I love that. Like, you know, when we sort of go out places, you know, and kind of, you're not supposed to sort of walk this way, like, and you'll just kind of go and have a little look, you know, you'll have a little shifty, you know, like, just to see what's going on.
I'm very nosy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you'll sort of walk up there. You know, like, I love the fact, that you don't go to kind of like social norms or, you know, rules.
Mind you, I remember Daddy taking me to London Airport. We've been 2 or 3 times. He used to take me to watch all the planes going off through the viewing rooms. And one day, I can't remember why we were going to this particular place, but it was out of bounds for people. And Daddy said to me, just keep your head up, keep walking, ignore everybody and keep walking as if you know exactly what you're doing, where you're going. And we went strolling off down this corridor and past several people, and we just kept on walking. I can't remember where we went or what we did. I think it was a special viewing platform for like where air hostesses go or something.
Was he a spy?
No.
He lived in Germany. Like, just act like you're doing. Walk forward, and we'll be in the Queen's chambers before you know it.
Yeah, it's funny actually because, oh, see, I've forgotten again now. But Daddy had this big handlebar moustache. Well, not exactly handlebar. It was handlebar's curl, but he was
it was like Groucho Marx with the bushy moustache.
That's it. It looked like Groucho Marx. And there was somebody who was a German
He's a fucking spy, Mum.
No.
That was a spy.
Who?
Did he have a little moustache and do this a lot?
No. No, that was a little thing like that.
Okay.
No, there was somebody, and I'm not sure if it was an actor or if he was German or English. I'm sorry. See, I've forgotten already.
Sorry.
But no, it wasn't your fault. I've forgotten anyway. But Daddy was always getting mistaken for this guy.
Groucho Marx.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
but actually, I think he sort of imparted like a kind of great like bit of advice there. Just head up, sort of ignore everyone else to pretend you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do in my life,
Well, yeah.
I think I've realised, like, as I've got older, and, when you're a kid, like, you think kind of the adults sort of like know what they're doing, and as soon as you sort of realise, that I'm an adult now, like if, like it was when a kid called me a man once, and I was like,
yeah.
fuck, I'm a grown-up,
Yeah.
right? And I was thinking, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. And you realise, like, that nobody really does, do they?
No, we're all trying to make our way through life, stumbling, I suppose, if you like, and learning every day.
Yeah.
But then I never forget a saying of Winston Churchill that he reckoned that every 10 years he wanted to do something new and something different, which what kept his mind active and alive.
Yeah.
And
Okay, what's going to be your new thing? We need to find you like a new thing.
I don't know.
Oh, the drums.
Oh, come on, I can't even hold a stick.
Do this quickly, Mum. Right, go, foot, hands, foot, hands. Try that. It'll have to be a slow song.
Yes, but you see, I have not as nimble.
Try it slightly faster. Go foot, hands. Just one foot, one hand. No, like foot, hands, foot, hands, foot. Okay, so I have to do like a doom metal tune.
I can't do it like I used to. I'm sorry.
Can't do it like you used to.
No, I'm very slow. It's I don't know. Like I spent 3/4 of an hour sat on the edge of the bed last night as I was in so much pain.
But you're not slow-witted, which I think is cool. Like you're still sharp, aren't you?
Oh, thank you. I tell you what's rather flattering in a way. I know it's bloody annoying. I'm forever getting these phone calls from people trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Double glazing or PPI or conservatories.
Yeah, those bloody conservatories.
And all sorts of things. Oh, and surveys, that's another thing.
Yeah.
And everybody says to me, how old are you? And I say 72, and they say, really? You don't sound it. So many people say that, and I don't know quite how an old person's supposed to sound.
Great.
I mean, that's
because you're still,
odd.
it's because you're still vibrant, That's what I was saying earlier on, like the way that some people, like, have almost kind of gone, yeah, like I'm finished now. And some people, honestly, like in their 20s, when I've had students, right, and they've maybe had like young parents, and I'll kind of say, to the mum or the dad, oh, why didn't you sort of like join along with them? Because I love getting families like jamming together, right? And often they go, oh, I can't now, I'm sort of like, it's too late for me. And they're like 25. And you think, Jesus wept. I mean, like with that attitude.
Exactly. What I hope.
I mean, like, do some people think, that you spend your first, 18 years kind of like growing into who you are, like, and then it's fixed.
Yeah.
Like it's malleable, it's transitory, isn't it? Always, moving forward. Okay, so we need to find you a new thing. We should probably call it a day this, shall we?
Oh, yes, I've got to get Alan to the dentist.
You've got a hospital appointment.
I have.
Well, thanks for being my first guest.
That's all right.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been very interesting, actually. I haven't spoken about anything that I planned to, because I suppose off the cuff.
It's better though, isn't it?
Oh yes, it does, definitely. Maybe I ought to write an autobiography, get down all the things I was thinking of.
Yeah, actually, there's a thing, there's a guy that I saw on the Joe Rogan podcast, actually, that I was talking about this whole thing that's called self-authoring or something, which is basically like getting people like her to write down
Yeah.
you know, kind of their life.
I don't mean for other people to
Well,
see.
yeah,
I meant
absolutely.
for my 2 children, and if any, grandchildren.
Yeah, but it's well, yeah, but it's you know,
But then you see very quickly, this is what upsets me about
I mean,
today.
making the grandchildren will be very
No,
quickly.
this is what
yes.
upsets me about today.
Oh, sorry.
Because things have gone a wee bit out of hand, and divorce is so commonplace, and I'm really sad that the church and the nation have made it so easy to get divorced, because
I love how you.
no,
you know,
listen.
no, but all I can say is
I don't want to say about people that have got like really bad marriages where people are cruel to each other, but I don't think people try hard enough to keep their relationships going. And I honestly think, for the sake of the children, I think it would be much nicer, because let's face it, so many children grow up in broken families that they think it's normal.
Yeah.
But it's not, is it?
I tell you what is cruel, okay, is the fact you sort of thrust this upon me now, you know, when we're finishing, you know, this is the thing that I've probably got like the most strong views on, you know, like, about sort of relationships and marriages.
We'll leave that for another day.
It will sort of join in, you know, for episode 2, where we sort of like discuss marriages. You know, there's 2 things I would quickly say. One, I don't think people should be forced to stay like in an unhappy marriage.
No.
2, I don't even understand kind of the need to get married. So, you know, 3, I lied. 4,
lied about what?
Because I said there's like 2 things I wanted to say. Oh. Well, I guess it's sort of joined on like to number 2. Like, part of me almost doesn't understand why people, you know, kind of like take the risk of like getting married here, because if you think like, if you're like a gambling man or woman, right, would you bet your whole future happiness and future earnings on a 50-50 bet?
No.
And they say now, isn't it kind of 1 in 2 ends in divorce? So that's essentially what you're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, 50-50.
You know, and I think like, if I ever got like married, it would have to be with somebody that I've gone through some shit with, because you only know people when you've gone through like shit with them. You know, like if it was one of the, you know, where people meet, you know, like, and they're kind of in love, and you know, they're married, and then sort of 4 years later they, you know, like it all goes bad and they like hate each other. If you've already been through shit with people, because you know, you kind of, you don't know people like until you've gone through some real like shit
years and years and years ago. I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was a saying, and I've thought to myself many times since, that if you really want to know me, come live with me. Sort of like you got to know.
I thought you'd never ask. I can move back.
I thought you got, what they're trying to say is you got to get to know a person really, really, really well to know if you can put up with them forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and
do we know each other well?
Foibles. We have to go, sweetheart.
Do we know each other well?
To his dental appointment. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
I've known you since you were a baby.
Yeah. Well, hey, I used to live in there. Yeah. You're a good home, Mum.
Thank you.
And we'll have to do that. Start as we've, you know, as we started.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Part 2 later.
Well, actually, I'll just quickly say, you know, I hope you guys have enjoyed this chat, you know, with my mum. If you want to hear some more from her, you know, then send us a message, like give us a like or something. And then I think we're doing John Matthews next. Do you remember John, the comedian from the open mic nights?
Oh yes, I remember.
Brilliant.
Yeah, didn't he go off to university?
He went to China. Yes, I want to ask him about China.
Oh, wow.
If he's allowed to talk about it now. Anyway, yeah, we have to go, yeah?
Okay, bye-bye.
Hopefully you can hear that in surround. Is my head in?